In 2 Chronicles 2, Solomon does something that almost nobody talks about. In the very letter where he asks King Hiram for materials to build God's temple, he openly admits the temple can't do what it's supposed to do. His exact words, "Who is able to build him a house, since heaven, even highest heaven, cannot contain him." Think about what that means. Solomon is confessing the project is impossible before the first stone is cut. So why build it? And what does it tell us that God accepted a structure its own builder called inadequate? Chronicles often tell of kings and conquest, but here we meet Solomon, a king whose ambition was to build a home for the divine. Solomon inherited a kingdom at peace, and instead of seeking glory in war, he set his heart on constructing a temple for the Lord, a vision passed down from his father David. David, a man of war, was told the temple must be built by hands of peace. That task fell to Solomon. This temple would be more than stone and wood. It would be the spiritual center of Israel, a symbol of their covenant with God. Solomon declared, "The temple I build will be great, for our God is greater than all gods." Its grandeur was not for personal pride, but to honor the Lord and unite the nation in worship. The temple marked a shift from a nomadic past to a settled future, anchoring the people in faith. Solomon knew he needed the best materials and artisans, even beyond Israel's borders. His vision was clear. To build a house worthy of God, he would seek help from afar. This was not just a building project, it was a declaration of faith to the world. The first step, reaching out for help to make this vision reality. The story of the temple begins with a king's devotion and a nation's hope. To realize his vision, Solomon turned to King Hiram of Tyre, a friend of David. Solomon sent a respectful request, explaining his sacred mission to build a temple for the Lord. Hiram responded with joy, praising God and eager to help. Their alliance was more than trade. It was a partnership rooted in mutual respect and shared purpose. Hiram agreed to supply the finest cedar and juniper from Lebanon, while Solomon would provide wheat and oil in return. This exchange united their strengths. Tyre's timber and craftsmen, Israel's harvest. Hiram also sent Huram-Abi, a master artisan, skilled in gold, silver, bronze, stone, wood, and fine fabrics. Huram-Abi's artistry would bring the temple's beauty to life. The alliance between Solomon and Hiram became legendary, a model of cooperation for a sacred cause. With resources and talents secured, the foundation for the temple was set. The partnership showed that building God's house required unity beyond borders. The gathering of materials began on a massive scale. Hiram's men felled the famed cedars of Lebanon, transporting them by sea to Joppa, then overland to Jerusalem. Each log was a piece of a sacred puzzle, brought together with immense effort. Meanwhile, Solomon's workers quarried and shaped stones for the temple's foundation, ensuring silence at the construction site, a sign of reverence and precision. Gold, silver, and bronze were prepared for sacred vessels and decorations. Fine linens in purple, blue, and crimson would adorn the temple, each material chosen for its beauty and meaning. Huram-Abi's expertise would transform these resources into a masterpiece. The act of gathering and preparing these materials was itself an offering of worship. Every detail reflected the desire to honor God with the very best. The stage was set for the temple to rise. Such a monumental project demanded a vast, organized workforce. Solomon conducted a census and conscripted thousands of laborers from among the foreigners in Israel. 70,000 carried materials, 80,000 cut stone in the mountains. Over 3,000 foremen managed the operation, ensuring efficiency and order. Each worker, from laborer to artisan, played a vital role in the temple's construction. The project united people of diverse backgrounds in a common purpose. The skilled artistry of Huram-Abi was matched by the strength and dedication of countless hands. Building the temple was a collective act of devotion, a nation working together for something greater than themselves. Every stone set and beam raised was a testament to unity and faith. The workforce embodied the spirit of a people devoted to God. Solomon's temple was more than a historical marvel. It pointed to a greater story. The temple was where God dwelled among his people, foreshadowing Jesus, who became God with us. The partnership between Solomon and Hiram hinted at God's plan to unite all nations in his house. Huram-Abi, of mixed heritage, symbolized the bridge between worlds, just as Christ bridges humanity and divinity. The silent construction of the temple's stones reflected the quiet work of God shaping lives for his purpose. In the New Testament, believers are called living stones, built into a spiritual house with Christ as the cornerstone. The temple's grandeur was a shadow of the true temple, Jesus and his church. Through Christ, people from every nation are invited to become part of God's dwelling. The story of Solomon's temple is ultimately a story of hope, unity, and the promise of God's presence with his people. The legacy of the temple lives on, not in stone but in the hearts of those who follow Christ. The true temple is alive, built by faith and open to all. Are you ready for the next chapter? Just click here to go straight to it.